the apartheid regime in South Africa. But yet there is a sense in which the God that we worship never sleeps. The colonial enterprise ran its course, and the European tribes, the Europeans never called themselves tribes, they called them nations, were engaged in a war. First in 1918, the European tribes fought, and they had something called the League of Nations, which died.
This is Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, and I'm just listening to him. I listened to him some time ago, and I just wanted to know as well that I'm live streaming on YouTube as well. So that's another angle. I'm live streaming on Instagram, live streaming on Facebook as well. But this is Professor Lumumba. Just listen to it a bit more. It sort of set the stage of where I'm going. Please.
Then they fought again in 1945. And what is unique about the European nations is that when they are engaged in tribal wars, they call them world wars. So there was another war between 1945, 1939 and 1945. And after that, a new kid on the block, the United States of America, took the lead in saying that colonialism was something that was undesirable. But at that time, Africans were never quiet. Those who had been taken out had already started agitating. Many of us here will remember Marcus Garvey, of whom Bob Marley says, Garvey was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America.
Okay, well, you heard it. Just a brief. The Arabs took the Africans, then the Europeans came and they took the Africans. And then they changed it after the shine of slavery went. Then they colonized. And then the Americans came after the tribal war, which is called the World War. And they say colonialism is not wise anymore. And it keeps evolving, and it keeps evolving, and it keeps evolving. But ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, when I saw the images of the Africans in chains and being beaten by the Libyans, it makes your blood boil. But then you ask yourself, what really is happening? I mean, I was reading some particular articles, you know, and of persons who were slaves, you know, who were part of the system. Survivors of slave auctions in Libya have described a total hell that they wouldn't wish on their worst enemy, as global outrage grows over footage showing migrants being sold off in the war-torn country. We were slaves, said Moussa Sanoga, a migrant who flew back to Ivory Coast from Libya this week after surviving regular beatings and forced labor in the fields. For the Arabs, Libyan jailers, black-skinned men are nothing but animals. Animals were treated better, said Sanogo, who spent more than 4 months in Libya trying to get to Italy by a boat. Hi, Trey Newer, how are you, buddy? The North African country has long been a major transit hub for migrants trying to reach Europe. He was just... Hi, Rupert, how are you, buddy? Good, good, good. I'm just touching... I don't think the topic came up or so, pardon me, but my topic tonight is about the shame of Libya, the shame of slavery in today, 2017, right before our eyes, and we're seeing it very clearly. There's not this massive outcry, I must say. There's a level of silence, I must say, and I said myself cannot continue and do a famous Facebook Live without raising this particular issue for blood to boil against this particular injustice to people and to our African brothers and our African sisters. We have seen what happened with Zimbabwe recently. We have seen the peaceful change of government, change of guards, whatever persons have to say, whether it was right or wrong, but what we've seen is a change. And what we hope is that the new president of Zimbabwe, the crocodile as they say, will be a catalyst of further change. And I see him more like an interim person taking on to the next level. We have seen as well another thing which I've seen, and you see there's this sort of lineage of this great aspect of affliction upon people, right? What you see now, when you look at those images, you see they are actually beating those brothers and those sisters, especially the men. They said this: there's a trade in black people there. People who want slaves come to buy them. If you resist, they shoot at you. There have been deaths, said Nedum, who spent 8 months. Somebody asked, so what's this going on while Gaddafi was president? Listen, I don't know what was going on while Gaddafi was president. I'm not going to get in there. All I'm talking about present and now, there is something which is wrong, and I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. I'm just dealing with issues now, right? Cameroons flew back to Yaoundé on Tuesday aboard a plane chartered by the International Organization for Migration as part of a project to return and reintegrate some 850 people, right? So this is something which is crazy, which is going on before our very eyes. But I'm going to link this. I'm going to link this as well to another thing which I've been seeing. I've been seeing where people are actually beating children very, very ferocious. I'm seeing, well, Rupert, it's not that I'm surprised, but I must say I'm surprised, yes, in a certain way. I must say I'm surprised. Because I'm one of the persons maybe I'm a bit gullible sometimes, and maybe I'm a bit too trusting sometimes. Maybe because I wish the best in people sometimes. So when I see certain things, I can't even watch it. When I see them beating children, the lady with the cutlass, the machete, I saw another lady pulling a child, another one beating a child, I can't watch that. Maybe because I'm a child care lawyer. And listen, Bianca, please, I'm going to tell you all this link, okay? People are asking me I'm going to tell you this. How the two issues link. I consider slavery, the atrocities of slavery, the beating and the affliction that came upon black people, I believe it somehow has permeated the spirit of people, and somehow, let me see my glasses here, because I'm not taking no prisoners tonight, actually, really. I'm just saying it as I see it, right? When I see women, mothers, men, whatever, beating children, right? It is like you have this level of ownership. No one owns anybody, right? I don't even own my children, right? Let me make it very clear now. I don't own my children. I'm responsible for my children. I have a duty to care for my children, right? We as parents have a duty, we're responsible, but we do not own them. We have no right to afflict, to punish them, and to inflict harm, physical, whether cutlass or whatever means. Because what I'm seeing is like the same chattel, the same time as in slavery, whereby they owned these persons. They own them. So because they own them, they can do anything with them. So they can beat them, they can whip them, they can hang them, they can slap them up or whatever like that. They own them, right? And I believe there is a demonic spirit or whatever, like something which has permeated people somewhat, whereby people have this level of ownership. You have a situation with men sometimes believe they own women, right? And we're seeing this whereby the human spirit somewhat believe that they own. That's what is happening in Africa now. Sorry, in Libya, whereby these persons with the immigration issues, wanting to move through from one state, go to somewhere else, are captured and sold as chattels, as cattle, as horses. Ownership, right? I just see what trade. This is an immigration issue. Nationhood and nationality has lost its value and humanity is crying. And we have gained value but have lost self-worth. Yeah? Yeah? The Cain was in British school. Is that slave master behavior then? Yes, it was slavery. It was a part of slavery. Whether you like it or not. It passed down the line. Whether we like it or not. Anything which is inflicting harm, brutality upon individuals, it is an aspect of believing one own such a person. Even if somebody, a child of yours or whatever like that, do something wrong, it is not upon yourself to inflict harm. You don't own them. And I think that's where the problem lies, where people believe they own people. It's a slave mentality. It's a same mentality which I'm just seeing. I mean, disagree with me or not, but I'm just dealing with it and saying it as it is. It's a mentality whereby people believe they own people. Parents believe they own. I'm linking this, whether we like it or not, I'm linking the same thing. Because what I'm seeing actually is nasty, is dangerous, is disgusting, and many people are presently seeking to justify these wrongs. Right? Justify these wrongs. Right? Now, the bit now regarding Libya now. Well, one of the good things, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but one of the good thing which is coming out is that the Libyan officials have what they have done. They have denounced what they're saying. They have denounced this, and by virtue of such, they want to actually, you know, because the CNN team has traveled to Tripoli last month after obtaining footage of the migrant action. They witnessed a dozen men being actioned off, you know, as little as $400 each. CNN was told of slave markets, and the Libyan authorities are appalled by it, and they say they are going to get to the bottom of it. Now you're going to the basics. You're right. We in Africa are running from something big and scary. Why? You know? And, you know, trade immature. Listen. Africa really should be going with guns blazing, man. Should be going with gun blazing in Libya. The African Union should be stepping up their plate right now. Guns blazing, figuratively speaking, of course. Dealing with this particular issue. I've seen people who say they know people there. They're Nigerians. Right? Sold into slavery. Right before our very eyes. While we're having good time, while we're partying, while we enjoying ourselves, that is happening right before our eyes. And we turn our eyes to it. It's nothing to do with us. Right? Why are they leaving Africa? Why are they trying to come to Europe? It's their fault. Those are some of the things. But there's the evil. You remember what Professor Lumba said? It was like, it was a situation whereby you need them, and therefore they come in different forms to somewhat trying to colonize and take control of Africa. The jewel, the pride in the eyes of God. Right? And I think it is very disgusting. And I think that all eyes should be really upon this. You remember Rwanda. Remember some of the atrocities which have happened before us, very eyes. I believe, who knows, in slavery times as well. There are many persons, white people as well, saw it happening before their very eyes, repelled, disgusted by it, but said nothing. So I'm saying something. I'm putting my head on the block and saying something. I'm saying it's disgusting, I'm saying it's wrong, and I'm saying that every person at the sound of my voice should raise up their voice and to say something about it. Write to their MPs, whatever, and say this is appalling in today. They were quick to go into Libya to silence Gaddafi. They're quick to go into different countries. Well, they need to go in there and to stop this atrocities which is happening. We talk about it. There's too much lip service, man. too many lip service talking about slavery, right? Because it comes in all different forms. Right here before our very eyes, right here in Europe, right here in the UK, right here in London or whatever like that. You got these elements of child slavery at the same time. And then you got the one in Libya, which is operating right before our very eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, right before our very eyes. Aspect of people believing that they can buy someone, that they own someone. People believing that they can actually take control of someone. I link it, yes. Link it back to the atrocities that I've seen against children. Link it to where you beat someone into submission so they follow you, they obey you. I link it because I believe that there is a generational curse or something which has filtered down in some aspect, you know, at the same time. And it is something that is very subtly can be actually missed. Yeah, it can simply be missed. So I say, wake up, Africa. Because at the time of slavery, one of the things that many people keep saying all the while is, why didn't those ships and those African kings, the chief and whatever, came and ran after those boats and capture back the Africans, those our brothers and sisters, our forefathers who were actually sold into slavery? Now's the time that the African Union leading the way, and there's a silence. I don't know, maybe I'm not hearing. I don't know if maybe I'm not hearing. Maybe someone can say if they're hearing. Hey Charles, how are you, buddy? You know, who knows? But I'm not hearing that sound, right? But what we can do is to put pressure from within the African diaspora to say this is not acceptable. And then again, you know, as you know, let me what did he say? I start back again. What Lumumba said. Lumumba said something very powerful at the start of the video. I'll tell you what he said at the start. This is what he said at the start, and this is powerful. Listen to this very carefully. Listen to this. If I can actually get it to play.
Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Here we go.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Yeah.
Africans are taken, and this we seldom say.
I go back a bit.
Historians will remind
us
from the colonial masters.
Listen to this.
Historians will remind us that we were first enslaved, that Africans were taken, and this we seldom say. The first civilization to take Africans out of this continent were the Arabs.
Were the Arabs.
And they took Africans from the eastern coast. And it's sad that in that part of the world, there are not many Africans who remained, because it was in the business of the Arab enslaver to castrate Africans. We never say that, but we must say it because it is historically significant.
Is there a castration going on of the Africans by the Arabs? Is there a castration going on? Listen further.
Then the Europeans came, the Portuguese came, the Spaniards came, the Germans came, the French came, the Belgians came. Africa became the hunting ground for the European colonizers, and we were the spot. We built, our ancestors built the United States of America. Our ancestors built Europe. And when slavery had lost its shine and sheen, the Europeans abolished it. But they replaced it with yet another pernicious enterprise, the colonization of Africa. The Europeans sat in Berlin, in Germany, in 1884, and they looked at the map of Africa and parceled it out. The British had their share. The Germans had their share, and Tanzania or Tanganyika was their share, as was Rwanda and Burundi.
Okay, so Africa has become the hunting ground again. You know? Africa has become the hunting ground at the moment. Show me the money moment. Africa has become the hunting ground moment. The sport, the Chinese have seen it. Everyone has seen it. But has Africa seen it? Has Africa seen it? That's a key thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about my topic today, which is the whole aspect of the Libya African slave trade, the whole aspect of the ownership, whereby people believe they own people. And I linked it to some sort of thing which are permeated and translated into today, whereby we see the level of child abuse, whereby one believes that they own children, where you see atrocities against children, beating, cutlass, whatever like that, because they inflict such harm because believing of that level of ownership. Ownership. You own chattel. You believe you own people. O-double-N, not Oprah Winfrey. Own people. And by virtue of such, one expose their anger, expose their shortcomings based on the level of ownership. Right. It may seem like a cheap shot I'm making, but sometimes when new things happen and new changes happen is when there's new thinking. That's my thinking. That's something I've been looking at, because I just can't seem to understand how people can actually be so abusive to children. I can't seem to understand, and I can't seem to get it in my head, how people can be so abusive to one another. I see sometimes, even when somebody does wrong and really deserve to actually be punished, but yet at the same time, I find it very hard to see what I believe that they deserve being meted out to them. I sometimes watch, you know what I watch sometimes? I sometimes watch these animal programs, these reptile, crocodile, lion, snake. Sometimes they're fighting one another. There's what's his name? You know, he showed these different programs. And sometimes, even when I know the snake is bad or the crocodile is bad or whatever like that, but when they're dying or when they're being killed or whatever like that, I still feel it for them. It's like, and yet at the same time, the people are actually filming the lion and the crocodile fighting, or the hippopotamus them actually throwing the crocodile in the air and beating him, or the rhinoceros one time throwing the lion in the air and actually puncturing the lion, and I feel it for the lion. When I know at the same time the lion was trying to get one of them and to eat them and to kill them. So what makes people so evil? What makes people so angry? Right? Maybe I'm using it from the brush that I have, you know, whereby I find it hard to afflict someone, irrespective of whom. And therefore, there's that deadly, dangerous, evil spirit, that nature there. And I believe some of it actually came down from the lineage of slavery. And I believe at the same time that what is happening in Libya, it is just a part of the whole process of the historical factor. Now it's deep, ladies and gentlemen. This is deep. I do not have the answer. This is deep, but this is a reality. But I believe that strongly in regards to Libya. I believe that those who have a voice, take it for one day, while on your Facebook Live, while on your whatever, and speak up against it. I made that move. I made that decision that I will not do another Facebook Live until I actually raise this game. That is why I raised the game the other day with Zimbabwe, because I felt that sort of connection back home. You know, The African is come to rob the bank and some are winning. The African journey is in our DNA and humanity has always been drawn to the easiest and history says the learned gentleman rise, you know? You know? You see, we have to have that spirit of the Marcus Garvey. We have to have that spirit of the Bob Marley. We've got to have that spirit of the revolutionary spirit, revolutionary nature that say we cannot sit back while atrocities happen. We saw it happen, well, not in our own, or not in our eyes of the physical of today, but it happened many years ago, where our forefathers were sold the transatlantic slavery. And I'm not here coming on blaming anything. I'm just dealing with some reality, some fact. This is also Black history. I keep saying Black history continues. Black history is not going to be just October. I'm going to keep it going. So I've always been bringing up this thing because one cannot actually say that you're going to excel, you're going to be successful, you're going to go places without actually addressing some of the concerns of today, some of the things that we are actually experiencing today, maybe not directly, but indirectly. The injustices, the racism, the inequality. I've got Peter Herbert, OBE, one of the Society of Black Lawyers, who's on my show. I did a little tease for him tonight, which is out there on my page, SYLBOURNE TV. The SYLBOURNE show, he's coming on Saturday. He talks about Grenfell, he talks about injustices. It happens. We have a duty, we have a responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, to say something. I'm challenging you. And I'm not, it's easy to justify things, it's easy to find reason not to, but we all have a responsibility. Right? You see, I look around sometimes and I'm on Instagram and all this, and everything just fake. Everything just fake. I'm just sometimes, this world is just fake. Everything is just changing. Right now you're having situations where boys are not boys, girls are not girls, and transgender thing. Everything is just fake, 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 fake. Nothing is true or what it used to be or the realism of things. Everybody comes up with this fantastic idea and everybody run with it. And you see, listen, you see this song here? This tune that I have in my background was created by a guy in Kenya. Yeah, in Kenya. He sent it to me. Yeah. We are following them. Why can't we make Africa rich? Trade, material. Can I say this to you? Africa is already rich, but the money is not staying in Africa. Look at those oil. Look at those diamonds. Come on, man. That was where Mugabe was good. That's where Mugabe was good. Mugabe was trying to keep things there. Of course, things get a bit out of hand and people get absorbed with power and absolute power corrupt, absolutely, and everything like that. But that's where, those were some of the good attributes. Taking back what is for Africa, for Africans. So therefore, but they need a good stewardship, good management at the same time. Because why are people leaving Africa? That's another question one has to ask. They will not be able to get caught up in the whole Libyan trade war or trade things. Why are they leaving? Following the money. Because guess what? The money is leaving Africa. Money is going to Europe, going to different places. So they're following the money. Trade, that's the same thing. They are following the money. So therefore, if the money stay, look at even the Caribbean or so like people are, the Windrush factor, people came and they built Europe, and guess what? They're all coming back. Me, guess what? I came to UK. I didn't follow them, I just came to study, really. But someone is following the money. We're going to the States. Built by black people, built, created. White House. Even Obama went there, following the money, trying to get it back. Follow the money. That is powerful, ladies and gentlemen. I think what I'm really saying is that there is that blessing and not that curse. When people say, why are black people that curse? Why are we that cursed? When I see lots of posts about the whole thing regarding the Libyan slave trade. Why are we cursed? Why are we cursed? I say, no, we're not cursed. We're blessed. Well, I'm speaking from a biblical perspective, knowing that there's blessing and there's curse. And I say, I choose blessing. Today, they talk about this lady who was saying boys should not be called boys, girls should not be called girls. I said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? That was what David said. When Goliath, the giant, was trying to somewhat usurp, undermine the might of God, while everybody was being scared. But David said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? So I say as well, why are these uncircumcised Philistines trying to change the order and the principles of God? You know, and things like that. Agree, Bianca, we are not cursed. Definitely not cursed. I challenge it. Anytime I see it, I challenge it. I say, no, we are blessed and highly favored. But at the same time, got to have wisdom. Wisdom, transparency, accountability, good governance in anything that we do. It is shocking. It is appalling what's happening in Libya. It is shocking, ladies and gentlemen. It is appalling, and it is nothing to condone, nothing to be happy about, nothing to smile about. You know, I don't get into the whole thing about Gaddafi should stay, or Gaddafi shouldn't stay, Mugabe should stay, or Mugabe shouldn't stay. Because I say, listen, leaders who are getting old, they need to go. The transition process and the succession plan need to be in place. Right? So I'm not going to cry for spilled milk. I'm not going to cry to call back Mugabe. I'm going to say to call back Gaddafi. I'm going to say to call back Saddam. I'm not going to say to call back Mandela. I'm not going to say to call back these persons. I'm going to say, no, people, we have the answer right in the palm of our hands. You know? And what Lumumba said, there's something he said. He was called to speak, to clean out how the hygiene process in African leaders, the hygiene process, because there's a hygiene issue that he was talking about there in a figurative sense. But then he went back into the whole aspect of how the whole process started. You know, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing more, nothing less. Just keeping this on the agenda. Keeping the whole aspect of that slavery of today. Africans caught up into slavery should not be happening on our watch. Africa should not allow this. The world should not allow this. But instead of waiting for the world to move, Africa should be moving. The African Union should be moving. African leaders should be moving. Nigeria should be moving. Congo, everybody should be stopping up and say, hang on a second, come on here, man. This is happening. Hey. What are we scared about? You know, what's going on? What is going on? Something is up, man. That cannot be happening in 2017. 2017. Years after the abolition of slavery. You have slave trade happening before our very eyes. Well, unless it's a fake and it's alternative fact and nothing will happen, and it was a fad and somebody's trying to create some sort of prank, so it's not real. So ladies and gentlemen, it was a sham, it was a joke. Nothing happens. It wasn't happening. CNN was fake, alternative news, whatever. Yeah, I kid you not, it is true. It's happening before our very eyes, and it is filtering all the way down in many respects. Okay. So, I'm just going to leave that one there and just wanted to drop that one in and so like that. So, thank you for joining and listening to me on that particular bit. I'll keep following this up. I'll keep following up on Zimbabwe. As a matter of fact, I'll be keeping following up the whole aspect of the heart of Africa, because I believe, I believe somehow that the spiritual realization and freeness and emancipation of the black men, black women will be when Africa reach to a point where they have that complete sense of taking full control of their destiny. Right? But at the same time, you don't have to wait to do that. Individually, you can. Yes. Through God. Yes, through God. Kid you not. I make no apologies that God makes a difference. Some people say, oh, you serve a white Jesus. I say, well, I've never seen a white Jesus before. I always say when people say there's a white Jesus, I say, who's that white Jesus? Never seen a white Jesus before. Oh, the white man give you the Jesus. Really? The white man never gave me a Jesus or something like that. I actually was in Brixton and I went into church and I actually gave my life to the Lord, and that was how, so it wasn't somebody gave me Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Let's get rid of those little sham, those little fat, those little alternative facts, those little things that are distractions. Ladies and gentlemen, there's too many distractions these days, too many distractions that take away from the real thing. Ain't nothing but the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing but the real thing, Just real. Powerful real, as much as possible, See, there's also the other issue regarding Jamaica now. There's this new ID system where people are appalled by it. People are angry about it. People are saying, how can this happen? Some are saying, yes, it is good. Some are saying, no, it is bad. But one thing for sure, it seems like the government and the leadership of Jamaica, in regards to this poignant issue, has somewhat let it just pass into a bill by the opposition not going into parliament for a fundamental section of the passing of the bill, and then it become bill. So I say, ladies and gentlemen, they're all in it together. In the UK, we say all in it together, but many people don't like it. But I say for the Jamaican government, I declare and I believe that they're all in it together for this new ID system whereby they all come together like that. I think so. Right? All buddies, all friends. I always say sometimes when people are actually fighting about political leaders, they don't fight over them too much because they're all buddies and they're all friends. They're all godfathers and godsisters and stuff like that. They're all pals. Don't fight over them. Politics is important. It's very good. I always say that. That is very crucial, ladies and gentlemen. Very, 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 very crucial. I kid you not. And I still have to just encourage each one to make sure, without a doubt, that you keep your eyes on the prize of Africa and speak up on the issue of slavery of today. Speak up on the issues of child cruelty, which I say you and I kid you not, I just strongly believe there's that link. I'm not going to talk about another race. I'm not going to juxtapose and say it happened to other people. I'm going to say the level of affliction and hurt and harm that I'm seeing to children within the black community in Jamaica or whatever, Victoria Climby and all those. I just think so much that there's that root of the historical fact of slavery, which is a part of it where you beat people into submission. You beat your child into submission and you believe you own that child. You do not own a child. You may birth the child, but you don't own a child. Tell you what. Check it out in the UK, sister me. You don't own a child. The state can come and take away that child. Pass orders, care orders. Kid you not. I know. I do it every day. Not I don't take away children every day, but I'm in the system where I work that system and I do it. From the legal side, I see it happen right before my eyes. It's shocking. It's appalling sometimes when you think, but I own that child. In the state, I see people saying bye to their children. People have to say bye. Adoption, whatever like that. They go. They thought they owned it. No, we have a responsibility to nurture, to care, and to protect. That is also for people. That's our responsibility. We do not own, we do not have the right to inflict abuse, harm, to a child, no matter if that child is bad, no matter if they are bulger children or whatever like that, or gain bulger, whatever like that, somebody said earlier, you do not have the right. You do not own them. Just like with slavery, they believe they own them. They paid for them. They got the right to beat, to have sex with women, sex with men, and whatever like that. Do you know in Jamaica, what I heard of? In Jamaica, they used to rape men a lot in Jamaica. Take them before the crowd, the city. Rape them before their wives, rape them before the women, rape them before the children. To break the men, break the leaders, break the troublemakers to a certain extent. Break them. Men, white men, showing that they can actually take over, control them. That's why they say in Jamaica is so homophobic. You know, that's why they say Jamaica don't like gay business and stuff like that. You know, so many things there, man. So many things. We got to get deep into some issues, man. We got to get deep into some serious fundamental issues. Not kidding. Don't kid around. Don't play kidding around different issues these days. Call a spade with politeness. You know, I'm not into the transgender business. I'm not gay or anything like that. You know, I don't support certain things, but I respect. Hey, I respect you. You know, I respect you, man. Do what you have to do. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fight you. You know what I mean? So, but I know where I stand. I know where I believe. I believe in God. I believe in man and woman. You know? Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. You know what I'm saying? That's me. But I'm not going to force that on nobody's throat. I don't want nobody to force that on my throat. I believe that once you're a man, you're a man. You don't just get up tomorrow and become a woman. Hey. Just because somebody have this great idea who is warped, crazy, mad, uncircumcised Philistine. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Which is seeking to mess up the word of God, the order of God. I think sometimes we're scared. We're scared of standing up. We're scared of being true to who we believe. That's going to be our downfall. Because guess what? It makes no sense to lose your integrity, to try to save your life. By virtue of that, you lose it all. So it's better to die standing tall, and then you save your life. Okay? Wow. I just need to get that off my chest, actually, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for joining on the SYLBOURNE, well, the late one. This was a sort of ad hoc one which I had to do today. I just broke away from all this other plans which I have. Wishing all the best for Zimbabwe. Check out my show this weekend with Peter Herbert, OBE, Society of Black Lawyers. Great interview with him. Actually, it's going to have to be two-part because it went a bit too long. And after that, I'm going to have Celine Jordan from the Jordan, you know, and then Nana Mafu. You might have seen Nana Mafu, Don't Go With The Flow. Got a great interview with him as well. And a couple other persons. So all coming up straight through till January. Great shows, you know. And thank you so much for joining. Not able to do much respond today because I believe there's some little glitch somewhere where I'm not seeing things coming up. But I'm also on the fantastic thing. I'm live streaming as well on, guess what? YouTube. Right now I'm live streaming on YouTube and on Instagram as well. You know, but I hear what trade materials. This is serious. The best thing you need to understand some terms. The black person has found itself in a machine. There are instruction manuals and we have not considered opening them. Yet we claim to know them. Okay? Well, trade. It's a time for, what can I say, opening up of the trade manuals and using them. And it will take me, to take you and others to actually start to spend some time dissecting them and teaching them to others so they can actually use it explicitly and carefully to freedom as much as possible. You can't have freedom unless you know what freedom is. You can't teach freedom unless you're free yourself. I'm free. Free in Christ. I say this to you. When people say you're in a box, I kid you not, I'm not. So that's why when people sometimes say we, I say always we. What are these we they're talking about? Don't put in that we. You know, because if I'm this we in this box, which is all secure and which is all bondage up, how can I be a liberator of the mind? So therefore one has got to be free first. Okay? Guys, trade, listen. All the best, guys. And thank you so much. Share this video and keep talking about it, and read up on the issues which is happening in Libya, because it's very important. Don't skirt around it. Don't skirt around it. No matter what you do, don't skirt around it. Keep it right above, right on the tablet of your heart, you know, and stuff like that. Okay, so peace out. Trade, we talk, and let's just try to make some contact at some point, and I'll get you on the show at some other time. All right? Okay, peace out. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. SYLBOURNE City, and I'm out. All the best. God bless. Oh, sorry, before I go, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you, and may he give you peace. Thank you. Bye-bye. YouTube, all the best. See you later. Peace out. Thank you.